And we welcome you into the Moore Fitness Center on this rainy Friday afternoon. Kay Crenshaw joined alongside Gordy Frierson. And Gordy, today we have the Columbia International Rams playing host to the Carolina University Bruins in non-conference action. These are two teams that have experienced similar struggles to the early portion of their 2021 campaigns, both sitting at 3-6 on the regular season. Here today, though, they look to round out each of their finals week for the students with a big win.
Yeah, Kay, this is a rematch of last year's NCCAA South Region Championship. Obviously, last year CIU beat Erskine in the first round, then advanced to play at Carolina for that NCCAA South Region Championship game, a game that CIU won. So Carolina maybe looking for a little revenge here today. Obviously, the game was scheduled early on in the season and then was rescheduled for today here, last day of classes at CIU.
Last time these two teams met, the Rams victorious 74-61. It'll be Bruins basketball as we get underway. Mitchell going left side to Gordon. They look to penetrate the paint. But now we see the first look today at the Bruins offense. Into the corner for Gordon. 15 to shoot. Inside the paint, up and off the basket for Nigel Wells. She goes off the backboard for the first bucket today.
Yeah, I think the half-court defense for CIU is definitely a key for the Rams today, something that I know Coach Danielle Fleming has talked about, something that she wants to work on. They've had a lot of success, in the front court with putting pressure on people, but, really locking down, buckling down in the half court and getting stops, something that CIU is going to need to do to win today.
Here's Neat driving baseline. She lays it up and in. Zion Neat, a sophomore who had a tremendous freshman campaign, then did not get the start to her sophomore season that she was looking for, but what a tear she has been on as of late. Just a week removed from a new career-high 32 points in the win over Milligan last week, although this past week at Tennessee Wesleyan, she continued the double-digit streak with 13 points against the Bulldogs.
And I don't think 13 seems like a lot in that game, but, Zion did a lot for CIU to even get to that point where they ended up losing by 2 right down at the end. Probably should have pulled that one out. And Zion brings a lot more than just scoring. She's a good defender. She can guard the perimeter and inside as Queegan Howard misses that three-pointer. But, yeah, Zion, very versatile player for CIU.
Bruins up early 4-2 with 8:20 left in this opening quarter. Ball's loose. Watkins diving, and she's able to poke it away. We don't see a jump ball call. Rams in transition. Neat looked at the pull-up. Instead, she's looking to penetrate, kicks it back out. Here's Watkins looking to drive. Short-range runner for her is short. Rebound cleared out by Mitchell.
Rams got to get back on defense here, and they're lucky that one came out. But CIU starting the game in a zone, so Coach Fleming really putting an emphasis on that half-court defense.
Watkins at the top of the key. Now working right side, spin move in the paint. Kick it back out. Neat straightaway three, off the mark. Trawick went to crash the boards. With the ball loose, Queegan Howard will pick up her first personal foul of the ball game. A trio of substitutions coming on the floor for Columbia International. It's Madison Ferrara, Taeya Heston, and Jordan McQueen. As Howard exits with her first foul, she's joined by Trawick and Hatcher. 7:27 left in the opening quarter.
Yeah, not much of a big drop-off for CIU with their first couple of people off the bench. Heston, McQueen both could definitely be starting for this team. Heston did start early in the season, and she gets a steal there. So some early subs for the Rams.
Heston picking up where she left off the last 4 games, 7 steals across the last 4 contests for the senior. Here's a short-range floater for Madison Ferrara to fall through. We're back tied up at 4.
Key to get Madison Ferrara going here early. She can be a important part of this offense if she gets hot. So definitely Ferrara and Madison Hatcher. If those two get going, then Rams can really get hot offensively.
6:42 left. Driving in the paint is Montgomery. She goes off the window. Malaya Montgomery, a homecoming, if you will, today. The Columbia, South Carolina native, attended Ben Lippen High School less than a mile from the campus here at CIU. She probably grew up coming to Rams games, and here today she gets to play against him. Heston knocking the shoe aside. She lifts the three-pointer up and off the mark. Heston still playing with one shoe in the corner as Neat will go off the backboard. Inbounds pass goes right to McQueen. That's the easiest bucket and steal she'll have of the season.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. Maybe just a miscommunication by the Bruins. But now you notice CIU in their press after the make. So this is where they're really excelled so far this year. And there's another turnover. Heston with the steal.
It's her second of the ball game. Here's McQueen. 3-ball up off the mark. Rebound cleared out by Mitchell. Neat nearly intercepts the full court pass, but Montgomery will lay it up with the right hand to tie us back up at 8. Carolina had 4 turnovers in the last 3 minutes. That bucket snaps that streak.
That's where it's important, though, for CIU, as and one there by Taeya Heston. It's important for CIU to, in the pressure, to be able to get back on defense and set up in their half court. That's where they really struggled, and you saw it there.
Heston going to get a chance at the line as Madison Hatcher returns to the floor for Taeya Watkins. 5:35 left in this opening quarter. Taeya Heston at the line, the Hilliard, Ohio native, transferred in from Oakland University, shooting 77% from the stripe this season. She's at the line for 1. Free throw up and through. 3-point lead, the largest of the early portion in this one for Columbia International. Cross court, here's Montgomery driving on Zion Neat. Up high off the window, she banks it in. Malia Montgomery leading the charge early with 8 of Carolina's 10 points.
It's a tough bucket there by Montgomery. Heston can't finish. Now the Rams got to get back on defense here.
In transition underneath to Gordon as Carolina, just as they went down by 3, scoring on back-to-back possessions. The Bruins now sinking each of their last 4 shots to retake the lead 12-11. Right side Ferrara, she goes back to Neat at the top of the key. Pull-up three-pointer off the mark. Rebound battled up in the air, eventually cleared out by Wells.
Don't want to belabor a point here, but with Carolina able to get inside seemingly at will with these guards driving, somebody's got to step up from that weak side and bring over some help.
Hatcher picking up her first personal. Second team foul as Trawick subs in for Zion Neat. Meanwhile, Wells will head to the sidelines for Carolina with Caliana White, a sophomore from Charleston, South Carolina, getting her first minutes today. It'll be Montgomery at the line for 2. And all of the Bruins have gotten back on defense. Don't want to give up any more of those transition buckets that have cost them so far here early on.
Yeah, Montgomery at Ben Lippen, as you mentioned. Ben Lippen, a subsidiary, if you will, of CIU. Don't get a lot of Ben Lippen athletes coming to Columbia International, so interesting to see her in an opposing jersey today.
Montgomery sinks the first, shooting 62% from the line this season. Second free throw just the same. 14-11, Carolina on top. As Columbia International looks to pick up a win in their final home game of the 2021 season before they hit the road for 3 consecutive road contests to finish out 2021.
Like to see the Rams get some drive and kick action, maybe get some shooters, Matt Ferrara and Hatcher out there for the Rams as Heston misses.
Trawick the offensive board, put back not there. Rebound brought down by Roberson. 4:10 left, opening quarter. Running jumper in there for Denasia Mitchell.
And again, somebody's got to step up and help when a guard gets beat on the perimeter. Those 3 in the back line, I guess is what you call it in the zone there, have got to step up and stop the ball.
Nice off-screen cut to Ferrara underneath. Her first bucket today. It's now 16-13 Carolina. On the other end, here's Montgomery. Layup off the mark. Jump ball off the rebound as Trawick and Gordon got tangled up. Possession arrow points the way of CIU as it'll be Rams basketball.
Good job there by Trawick, though, that time to at least step up, alter the shot, able to force the missed layup.
Heston and Hatcher heading to the sidelines with Taeya Watkins and Quinnica Howard back on the floor for Columbia International. 3:41 left here in the first.
Talking about driving and kicking, Taeya Watkins, one of the best at that in the Appalachian Athletic Conference and in the CCAA as well. So see if she can get some action, get into the basket, and then finding a shooter and either Howard, McQueen, or Ferrara all on the court for the Rams.
Watkins around the Trawick screen. Jumper off the mark. Rebound on the ground as Roberson dove for it. She was able to find Montgomery. And the Bruins have a chance at an offensive attack to increase their lead by 3. Here's Gordon from the corner. Three-pointer not there. Rebound snagged by Ferrara.
Okay, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, the mid-range jumper is dead. Well, there's a reason it's dead, and you saw it there with Kanaya Watkins' miss there a minute ago.
McQueen's three-pointer off the mark as well. These two teams struggling early. Now combining 0 for 7 from downtown, including the Rams leading the way 0 for 6. These two teams have found all of their points so far inside the arc. And the biggest difference maker so far, Carolina not as having many opportunities in terms of the shot category as CIU has had, but they've been taking better advantage as Mitchell goes in off the drive. Carolina shooting 73% from the field here early on, making 8 of their first 11 shots to date.
Yeah, the closer you get to the basket, the higher the percentage shot, if you will, and Carolina taking advantage of that.
Rams now 0 for 7 from three-point range after the Ferrara miss. Kick out to Watkins. Spin move for her on the low post. High off the window, too strong.
You'd like to see some higher quality shots from the Rams here early on.
Here's White for 3. She got it. The first three-pointer of the ball game comes under 2 minutes left, and it flows off the hand of Kalia White.
Not all three-point shots are equal, and that's a good one because, White stepping in rhythm, off the catch, knocks it down. So you say we're shooting bad from 3, but there's a reason because you got to get open looks if you're going to knock down those shots from long range.
McQueen with 9 to shoot, driving right hand, deflected out of bounds by Montgomery, and Carolina has come to play here today. Fresh 5 on the floor for CIU. It'll be Thompson, Neat, Hatcher, Heston, and Brown getting a full new lineup on the floor. And now we see a technical foul issued against Carolina.
Maybe taunting after that big block. Not sure what happened actually, but
it was an issue against Joanna Roberson. That'll be her first personal. And Hatcher will be at the line, shooting 68% this season, 15 of 22 at the stripe, with a freshman from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Her first technical free throw will rattle in. I'll keep in mind she gets one more, and the Rams get the basketball, which is crucial with them down by 7.
Yeah, in a game where you imagine these two teams are going to end up being pretty close down the stretch, you can't give up silly plays like that where you get free opportunities and then get the ball back on offense. So that's something that Coach Lee for Carolina is not going to be pleased with.
One thing the Rams have to start taking advantage of is their offensive opportunities. They've gotten 8 more shots here in this one than Carolina has, but the Rams making just 1 of their last 10 from the field. Once you start to find that offensive rhythm and snap back into things, you can possibly turn it around. Here's Heston on the drive, fouled, up and 1.
That's a great way to do it. Sometimes you can't score from outside, just force the issue to get to the basket. Taeya great at getting in the lane and finishing inside. There's a reason she was playing at the Division I level the past 3 years at Oakland University.
Roberson picking up her second personal. Heston's second trip to the line today. Earlier on, she's 1 for 1. Off the back iron, offensive board brought down by Brown, but now a loose ball snagged by Thompson. The Rams will have a second chance possession. Coming up on a minute left here in the opening quarter. Hatcher on the drive, she's fouled, and she'll see time at the line again.
And now you're seeing how costly that technical foul is. Basically, so far, CIU's had a 4-point possession without the ball really ever changing hands. So that's a costly technical foul because you could end up with a 6-point swing here really in the last 30 seconds or so.
And following Roberson's technical foul earlier on this quarter, she's now picked up her 3rd personal in the opening period. She heads to the sidelines as Nigel Wells returns to the floor.
Yeah,
Hatcher's first free throw, pinballing out.
Definitely don't want to pick up 3 fouls in the first quarter. That's a big no-no, especially in the women's game where you have the break up between the quarters. So first quarter, Free fouls, not something you want to see.
Hatcher's second attempt, once again, rattling out. 0 for 2 at the stripe for Hatcher on that trip. Rams down by 4. Under a minute to play. Here's Brown with the steal. Up the floor, intercepted by Montgomery. 2-on-1 basketball. She elects for the mid-range jumper, and she knocks it down. Malaya Montgomery now with 12 of Carolina's 23 points as she leads all scorers easily with 35 seconds left in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Montgomery really doing it all for the Bruins, able to get to the basket, and there, talking about the mid-range game, it's not dead for Carolina.
Here's
Montgomery
Gordon
hits that jumper.
Here's Gordon on the steal, up the floor and off the glass. 25-17 Carolina, 15 seconds left. Shot clock now turned off. Heston will hold for the last shot. Spin move in the paint, up off the window, not there. Now the Bruins have 2 seconds left from midcourt. Off the mark. That's the end of the first quarter. An offensively explosive battle. These two teams combining for 42 points. Leading the way, though, is Malaya Montgomery for Carolina with 12. At the end of one, Bruins up 25-17. We'll be back for more women's basketball action on the CIU Sports Network. Back on the CIU Sports Network here from Columbia. Carolina on top as we begin second quarter action, 25-17. Leading the way in that first quarter for the Bruins was Malaya Montgomery, and a homecoming, if you will, for the junior guard, a native of Columbia. Went to Ben Lippen School, which is less than a mile from the CIU campus. She steps back into the gymnasium that she came to and watched games at as a child. Now donning the Bruins gold and blue, she leads all scorers with 12 as we get second quarter action underway. For the Rams, it's Heston, Neat, Ferrara, Thompson, and Hatcher. Three-pointer well off the mark from Kalia White. It'll be out of bounds. One of the shocking stats from the opening period was how poorly these two teams shot from beyond the arc, combining for just 1 of 10 from three-point range, the one make coming from the Bruins. Neat on the short-range floater. Contact through and one. Zion Neat a chance at a three-point play as Malaya Montgomery picks up her first personal, and Carolina head coach Quante Lee not too happy with the call. Neat with her third bucket of the afternoon. That's the sophomore at the line, shooting 67% from the field, shooting 67% from the stripe this season. She can't complete the three-point play as the Bruins hold tight to a 6-point lead. Mitchell working top of the key. Pull-up jumper from the elbow. She got it. Denasia Mitchell now with 6 points. Puts Carolina back on top by 8.
Carolina's shooting 70% from the field here to start this game. A big reason why, though, is because you fast break points, getting close to the rim and scoring inside. Then obviously there's been two mid-range jumpers in the 1-3 from White, but otherwise everything close around the rim. You're gonna shoot well from the field if you have a bunch of chip shots right in there.
10 to shoot. Inside to Wells, an offensive foul underneath. Nyjah Wells whistled for the charge as Heston hit the deck. That's Wells' first personal, second team foul for Carolina.
Yeah, good job there to draw the charge. Offensive fouls have been harder to come by this year in college basketball since the flop rule has been instituted. Ref's always looking for that call, but good job there to pick up the offensive foul.
Neat working herself down the baseline. Her pass was deflected and stolen away by Mitchell. On the other end, behind the back pass, trying to find Everett. And the Bruins got a little too confident in that transition.
Yeah, it looked like, you ever heard of Pete Maravich, Cade?
I have. Good old Pistol Pete.
Good old Pistol Pete, up from the upstate, around where you're from. Trying to look like old Pistol Pete with the behind-the-back pass.
The D.W. Daniel High School grade has his jersey hanging on the gymnasium there at Daniel.
That's right.
In the great big town of Central South Carolina. Under 8 left here in the first half. Bruins up by 8. Here's Hatcher for 3. Knocked down, no foul. And Thompson's knocked down on the rebound, still no call. Here's Heston. She goes off the window. Boy, what a physical possession that was. Bodies all over the floor, but Heston comes away with the points.
And Heston is great at playing what they call bully ball. You know, gets inside, uses her body, bounces off defenders, and able to finish. She's done that a couple times. The 2-and-1s that she picked up, you know, just took the contact, absorbed it, finished inside, just like she did there.
6-point game here inside the Moore Fitness Center. Mitchell driving on Thompson. It's off the mark, rebound poked out. It'll stay Bruins basketball. 19 on the shot clock. A pair of substitutions for both squads. As Ferrara heads to the sidelines for Kanika Howard, we see Everett check out with Kalia White returning to the floor for Carolina. Just over 7 minutes left here in the second quarter. Rams going the man-to-man pressure.
CIU back in that man, it looks like, as
underneath, and a chance at a three-point play for Nigel Wells. The first time today that the Bruins have had the opportunity at an and-one play, as Zani Thompson picks up her first team foul for the Rams as well. Extra free throw off the back iron for Wells. It remains in an 8-point game. Hessen the handoff to Thompson. They'll work it back around the perimeter. Up top to Howard. Trying to find Hatcher around a screen. The Rams have 10 to shoot. As it'll go back to Hessen to reset the offense. Now 5 on the shot clock. Heston driving herself up and off the window. Taeya Heston making the Bruins pay on the glass. 9 points for the graduate guard today to lead Columbia International and keep the Rams within 6. Timeout taken by Carolina head coach Quante Lee. 6:19 left in this second quarter. We'll take it with them. Bruins on top, 29-23. We'll be back for more Rams basketball when we return to the CIU Sports Network. $6:19 left in this first half, and if you're a big fan of vintage boxing matches, that's what you're getting today. Columbia International and Carolina just exchanging blows here through this opening half. 29-23, Bruins on top in this back-to-forth contest.
Yeah, it's been a good one so far. Both teams making runs. Carolina kind of extended themselves there late in the first quarter, but CIU's come back here to start the second.
Mid-range jumper off the mark for White. Here's Howard on the other end. Neat. Top of the key 3. She got it. And after the Rams started out 0 for 8 from downtown, Neat connects on the first trifecta of the night for CIU.
Yeah, and that's the type of 3 you want Zion taking. Trailing, stepping into the 3, got her feet set, knocks it down. Some of these other shots we've taken from deep have not been what Coach Fleming's probably looking for.
Montgomery driving, and she has a chance to respond with her own type of a three-point play.
Yeah, the old-fashioned three-point play, they call it, as
Hatcher will pick up her second personal. She heads to the sidelines, substituted by Jordan McQueen. And puts Malaya Montgomery at the line. Came into this ball game averaging 14 a game. She has 14 with under 6 left in the first half. With a chance at 15, she connects on the free throw.
Yeah, Montgomery maybe one that some CIU fans are wishing hadn't got away. Local kid, and she's really scoring on the offensive end here against the Rams so far.
Neat after backing down Montgomery into the paint. Can't connect on the turnaround. Coast to coast into the corner. White for three. Off the mark. Rebound poked out. It'll stay Bruins basketball.
If you're the Rams, even though you're scoring maybe on the other end, you've got to get stops down here on the Bruins side because you're trailing by 6, so you can't just exchange baskets. You got to get stops.
Montgomery spin move off the mark. And as she went for the offensive rebound, Gordon steps on the back baseline. 5:12 left here in this opening half as Heston heads to the sidelines with 9 points. We see Taeya Watkins return to the floor for Columbia International. Watkins, Neat, McQueen, Thompson, and Howard, the 5 on the floor for Danielle Fleming's squad. Neat driving, whistles blow for a jump ball, and it'll stay Rams basketball. They're going to put 21 on the shot clock, 5:03 on our game clock. 32-26, Bruins on top. One substitution here while they're adjusting the clock problem. Montgomery heads to the sidelines as Janasia Everett returns to the floor. Referees now conversing, and they're going to stick with 21 seconds on that shot clock. Up and over the top to Thompson, and it'll be Watkins to reset the offense.
Again, you want to see Watkins get in the lane and then maybe dump it off. Turnover there, though.
McQueen stepping out of bounds on the jab step. Now under the 5-minute mark. Rams down by 6. After getting down early, they've battled back to within 3 moments ago, but that's the closest they've been.
CIU with 5 turnovers so far in this half. Really got to hope you don't get any more here in the second. Want to try to keep it under double-digit turnovers for the game if possible. You're already halfway there. So take care of the ball.
Kick ball out of bounds. Shot clock will go back to 20 seconds.
See if Carolina will try to run a set play out of here, out of the inbounds pass. And they'll just set back up in their half-court offense. High screen.
Carolina has shot 61% from the field today. Here's Mitchell from the free throw line. She's knocked down by Watkins. And Denasia Mitchell will head to the stripe for 2.
That's a bad foul because she was already going to have taking a difficult shot there. So I don't want to bail her out there with the foul, but it is what it is. Going to the line.
Watkins picking up her first personal, 3rd team foul for CIU. Mitchell, 75% shooter at the stripe this season, knocks down her first. A junior from Delray Beach, Florida. One of her best games came earlier this season against an AAC opponent in Montreat. Had 24 back in early November against the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I was looking at that Montreat game. Definitely one that Coach Fleming probably circled when she was looking at this game just because Montreat's a conference opponent. Obviously, CIU lost them earlier in the season, so you know if Carolina played them close that this one's going to be a close one today as well.
Watkins and Thompson head to the sidelines as Heston and Trewitt return to the floor for CIU. Coming up on the 4-minute mark here in the opening half. Bruins on top by 7.
CIU back in man. Hopefully that'll help with some of the issues covering the Bruins guard getting into the paint that we had here in the first quarter and the early portion of the second quarter.
5 to shoot for the Bruins. It's in the hands of Mitchell. She pulls up for the three-pointer. Too strong. Howard the rebound as she works up the floor.
That's a good stop by CIU. You want to force that shot. Contested 3 off the dribble. Good defense by CIU. So there's a stop. So you got to go stop, score, stop, scoring. Get back into this game. Get it to at least maybe down 1 or 2 or up by halftime.
The Rams looking for their first points in over 2 minutes. Down by 7. Howard looked at the 3. She works around a Trawick screen. 10 to shoot. Floater from the paint off the mark. Rebound poked out, but it'll be Everett who comes away with it. Her pass to Gordon was a little low, and that forced Shantasia Gordon to hit the deck for the travel.
Down here on the last possession for CIU, that's what you want to see out of Howard, getting inside. She has not been super aggressive so far, and she's someone that can really score for the Rams. So I'd like to see her get a little more involved here offensively.
Neat pull-up three-pointer off the mark. Rebound cleared out by Mitchell. Now 5 rebounds for the 5'4" guard out of Delray Beach, Florida.
Hessen got a guard out here on the perimeter. She usually does a good job of that. Trawick fronts inside. So either they're teaching to full front, half front, or play behind. Coach Lemon usually likes the full front. You can get beat over the top like that sometimes. There, though, the pass is too far. Turnover there, so good defense by Trawick.
Malaya Montgomery returns to the floor for Carolina. She leads all scorers with 15. Meanwhile, we see Taeya Smith, the senior from Grand Rapids, Michigan, see her first minutes of the ball game. Coming up under 3 minutes now. Still a 7-point deficit. Heston pull-up jumper, knocking it down and ending nearly a 3.5-minute scoring drought for Columbia International.
Heston's been playing really well so far today. She's been doing a good job coming off the bench for the Rams. Kind of found her little niche here early in the season. And that's a tough foul call. That's a really tough foul call.
Late foul coming in on Quinnica Howard. That'll be her second personal, 4th team foul. Foul whistled on the floor, so Ferrara will check in for Howard.
Not sure what the official saw there. Maybe got her on the way. If it was anything, it might have been a shooting foul, but foul's on the floor.
Montgomery double teamed in the paint. And now we see Zion Neat whistled for the foul. That'll be Neat's first, 5th team foul for the Rams.
Got to be careful if you're CIU. Don't reach. If you know that fouls are being called on the reach, maybe some ticky-tack stuff, keep your hands to yourself. Don't stick them in there. Just play straight up and down.
With that being the 5th team foul, Montgomery heads to the line. First free throw rattling in. She's now 4 of 4 from the stripe today. Montgomery coming into this ball game 18 of 32 from the stripe. She's now 5 of 5, and the Bruins up 35-28.
Like to see an open look here for Neat or Ferrara. Good pass from Trawick. So there the Rams are running something out of their half court. Good screen.
Pass was off the mark from McQueen, off the fingertips. A little too high from Trawick. Now under 2 to play here in the second.
But it's encouraging to see good half court action on that possession, even though you don't come up with points. At least you know your guys are out there doing the right thing.
Mitchell stepping out of bounds as she worked on Heston up the floor. It'll be Rams basketball, down by 7 points. These two teams battling back and forth all day. Neat short range layup deflected. Here's Montgomery on the other end, and the Columbia International bench explodes on that foul call.
Yeah, that's a tough sequence. I think both of those blocks were actually clean, so the call down here was correct, but looked like a lot of contact. And then down here, just not calling both of those equally. It's going to be difficult for that Rams bench. They're going to kind of feel like, refs out to get them, but tough call either way.
Montgomery at the stripe as Jordan McQueen picked up her first personal. First free throw off the back iron, that being the 6th team foul for Columbia International.
Yeah, in the women's college game, 5 fouls in the quarter and you're in the bonus. So you get there pretty quick. That's what ends up making these games last a little longer is those foul calls. And, you're shooting maybe halfway through the quarter, you're at the line. So you got to be careful not to pick up a lot of fouls. That's a bad turnover there.
Stolen by Montgomery on the other end. She goes off the glass. And Malia Montgomery, here in her hometown, now has 19 points for Carolina.
And that's tough. That's another tough turnover. That looked like it was deflected, but they'll say it was backcourt. I thought it was knocked off there by the hand of the defender, and then Heston picked it up over the other side of half court. And I don't want to be questioning the refs here because I feel like I'm going to do it in a lot here in the last couple minutes. But that one looked like might have been deflected and then gone over backcourt rather than a normal backcourt violation.
Larissa Lee and Brittany Brown, two of these teams' best defenders, now onto the floor for Columbia International. For Danielle Fleming, one of the biggest tell signs of your group is how they finish the last minute here in the first half. Shot off the mark now, a second chance opportunity for Montgomery. She can't get the bucket to fall, but she'll draw the contact from Brown and head to the line.
Yeah, and Kate, as you mentioned, how do you finish the half? And I was about to say before that turnover, you're down. What you don't want to happen is the lead to be extended. You can stay where you're at and then go into halftime, down 7 or whatever you were at, or cut the lead. But what you do not want to happen is to go into halftime without momentum, with the other team extending their lead.
Montgomery now 6 of 8 from the stripe today with 20 points for the junior. Second free throw off the front iron. 13-second difference between shot clock and game clock. The Rams have been struggling to just hold possession of the basketball. 5 turnovers in the last 5 minutes. And here's a jump ball that goes the Bruins' way, and the trend continues.
Yeah, these end-of-half turnovers are going to be killer because now instead of finding yourself maybe down 5, maybe down 7, you're going to come into the second half already in a double-digit hole. This is a huge stop for CIU. If they can get a stop here and keep it in single digits, that would be massive for Coach Fleming's squad.
Less than 2 seconds separate shot clock from game clock. But now off the rebound, the offensive glass, it's Gordon, whistled for a contact offensively. That'll be her first. Just the third team foul.
Cade, sometimes these end-of-half, end-of-game situations, some coaches have quick hitters where, it's a play for a guaranteed wide-open shot. Let's see what the Rams run. They run some action there at the top.
Here's McQueen, the spin move in the paint, up off the back iron. Rebound cleared out by Montgomery. 2 seconds. Tried going to White up the floor. Should have taken the shot instead. That takes us into halftime, and Columbia International trails by 10 points to Carolina. We'll speak with Rams head coach Danielle Fleming coming up in moments when we return on the CIU Sports Network. Back here on the CIU Sports Network, Kate Crenshaw now joined by Rams head coach Danielle Fleming. Coach, you're down 10 at the half. That was really a first half of punches back and forth. You exchange blows back and forth with Carolina. What do you hope to see in the second half of your group?
I would like to see us play our style of basketball. They're wanting to slow it down. They're wanting to, walk the ball up the court, and that's why you have a low-scoring game right now. We're going to want to speed them up. Control number 30, she has 20 points, so we're going to make sure that we put a little bit more pressure on her. But I would like to see the game, a bit faster.
How important will it be for your team to keep their composure across the final 2 quarters?
Yeah, it's going to be very important. It's been a long time since we scored 28 and a half. So shots aren't falling. They're applying pressure, so they're getting beat up a little bit, but we have to, play through that. And I think that's the message in there. It doesn't matter how hard or how often they hit you. You have to play through it.
Coach, best of luck in the second half.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That takes us into halftime here on the CIU Sports Network. Rams down 38-28 to Carolina. Your women's basketball action on the CIU Sports Network. Back inside the Moore Fitness Center here in Columbia as Columbia International down at the half against Carolina University. 38-28 our score. Kay Crenshaw alongside Gordy Frierson. Gordy, we look back at that first half, and one of the biggest issues that plagued the Rams, you can point at two categories. One, three-point shooting, just a 1 of 10 from the field as a team. More importantly, a very unbalanced scoring attack with Taeya Heston and Zion Neat combining for 20 of the Rams' 28 points.
Yeah, I don't think the three-point shooting is necessarily the issue. I think it's, again, the shots that are be taking from three. You know, Taeya's getting inside, and so both her and Kanaya, if they can kick to open shooters, that's going to open up the perimeter a little bit. Problem is right now, which that was another one, we're taking contested threes out on the perimeter instead of finding the open space and getting open looks from beyond the arc.
Now referees whistle. 9:40 left here in the third quarter, just getting underway. Still a 10-point game. Rams applying that full court pressure. Nearly losing her handle, and it was Gordon. She's able to recover and go off the glass.
Yeah, that was an impressive recovery there by Gordon as she lost the handle there, picked it up, and then just put it off the straightaway bank shot.
Neat. Pull-up three-pointers. She got it. And Zion Neat with the three ball. Now leads the Rams with 12 points. And it's put CIU back within 9. If Columbia International wants to continue eating away at this deficit, they're going to have to do two things. One, continue to make shots, and two, start making stops, and that's a good way to do it, forcing the miss from Montgomery, who led all scores in the first half with 20. Neat from the left side, turnaround three off the mark. Rebound cleared out by Wells.
Yeah, not just stops, stopping the ball early. Like right now, this is a great example. You got to stop the ball early. Got to pick up sooner. Instead, now Carolina's guards got a full head of steam going to the basket. Then all you have to help, which is going to leave a man open on the other side to dump it down, easy layup. But so get stops early.
A minute and a half into this third quarter, and we see the first timeout taken from Danielle Fleming. Not the halftime speech effect that she wanted to see so far here early on. The biggest thing that's helping Carolina, and we talk about the things that hurt CIU, but one of the things helping Carolina, shooting 55% from the field. They've been selective in their shots. They've attacked heavily on the perimeter, shooting 31 times here today, just 5 beyond the arc. They're attacking the paint, attacking the inside glass, and penetrating the paint, which has really paid off dividends for them.
Yeah, and give credit to Carolina. Just because you get inside, it doesn't mean you're going to make your shots. So they're not only are they getting inside, they're actually finishing and making the right play when they get inside. So that is, give credit to the Bruins there. It's not just poor defense on the Rams' part. It is good offense by Carolina.
Back out to Hatcher, or Trawick along the baseline, excuse me. She knocks it down. Nearly still in the inbounds. Montgomery is able to work up the floor. Ball loose, bodies diving. And now referees will whistle for a foul on Taeya Heston. Malaya Montgomery still down for Carolina. Looks to be nursing some type of a hand problem here. She does have that left hand taped up. She exits the contest with Eliana White returning to the floor.
That's another tough foul call, just because if you're the ref there, maybe just let that one go out of bounds, see who it's off of, instead of, both guys are going for the ball, and instead one of them picks up the foul.
Mitchell working on Heston. 8 minutes left here in the third quarter. Inside and through the legs of Nyjah Wells. 9-point game. Watkins driving, shot off the mark. She gets a chance for 2 at the stripe as Joanna Roberson picks up her 4th personal foul here early on in the third quarter.
Yeah, Coach Lee starts Robeson in the second with 3. So that's a risk you take, putting her in there.
Watkins' first free throw up and good. 70% shooter this season is the senior from Chattanooga. looking to make it a 7-point deficit. Indeed she does. Now we see a substitution for Roberson, who just picked up her 4th foul moments ago. It's Taeya Smith, the senior from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
And that's a good good 2 made free throws there by Watkins. Now she's seen the ball go through the net a couple times. Maybe she can get something going offensively.
Underneath to Smith. Her short-range shot off the mark. Now a timeout taken by Carolina as Denasia Mitchell, the junior, a heads-up, really mental play there on the floor. Sees her teammate Wells down on the ground. Sees a jump ball ensuing. Possession arrow points the way of Columbia International, but she gets the timeout just beforehand to keep possession. In a close game like this with just 7 points separating 2 squads, little things like that matter an awful lot.
Yeah, now in college basketball, the coach cannot call the timeout during a live play, so they can only call it during a dead ball. So it's important that you got players on the court that are heady and aware of what's going on and are able to do things like make a timeout there when your teammate is on the floor with nowhere to go.
7:40 left here in this 3rd quarter. And Carolina leads Columbia International 42-35. Bruins basketball on their own baseline. Quick inbounds to Mitchell. The pump fake got Watkins to go for it, but now ball's loose. Smith, the second chance points. Physical rebound as Trawick and Smith got tangled up. It'll be ruled a jump ball and go the way of the Rams.
That was a well-run inbounds play there by Carolina. They ran that almost to perfection and ended up with a layup, which was missed. So CIU fortunate there to get the stop, because Carolina had 2 opportunities that really should have gone down.
Neat can't get the bucket to fall. Deficit stays at 7. Bruins, though, looking to extend that. In transition, Watkins going to be whistled for the personal foul. That's her 2nd.
That's not a foul that you want to see given in this situation. No real need for that foul there.
Right side, Mitchell. Working on Watkins. The drive, the deflection from Watkins. McQueen to the right side. Here's Heston. From the low post, off the window, banking it in is Taeya Heston.
Taeya Heston keeping CIU in the game thus far. Again, playing that bully ball, just forcing your way inside.
Underneath, here's Wells. Initially had her shot blocked, then contact is drawn from Hannah Trawick. That's Trawick's first personal, 3rd team foul. Rams on a 6-0 run the last minute and a half as Trawick heads to the sidelines. We see Zonnie Thompson see her first minutes here in the 2nd half.
Definitely some missed opportunities for Carolina to start this half. If they end up losing this game, that's going to be a real issue.
Bruins starting out 0 for 4 from the field. The first free throw too strong for Nigel Wells, shooting 54% from the stripe this season. True freshman from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Second attempt is through. 6-point game coming up on 6 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter.
If you're the Rams, why not go back to Aston? She's been who's been able to score for you. Her and Neat, get them the ball, get them in space, and that's a good play right there. That's what you need.
Short range jumper good for Zion Neat from inside the paint. Rams are within 4. White nearly lost her handle on it. She's able to dump it off though, back into the hands of Mitchell now. Trying to work off McQueen. Mitchell driving left hand on Neat now. Layup too strong. Rebound corralled by Thompson. Up the floor. Full court pass from Heston is intercepted by Smith, and the Bruins have a chance to extend their 4-point lead. Montgomery's shot is left short, but the hustle play from Aliyah Montgomery to go corral her own rebound and give her offense a second chance. Here's White from 3. She got it, and she makes the Rams pay. Yeah, that's the hustle play.
That's a 3-point swing with just not boxing out the shooter, and that's turnover. But Montgomery doing all she can to keep Carolina ahead of CIU.
Aliyah Montgomery with a game-high 20 points.
My guess is Brown's coming in here now to guard Montgomery, so we'll see how that goes.
You've got Brown and Ferrara on the floor with Watkins and McQueen heading to the sidelines. 5:38 left here in the 3rd quarter. Bruins on top, 46-39.
Full court pressure from CIU. So Heston's a great on-the-ball defender. Brown's a good all-ball defender. So both of these guys, let's see how Carolina is able to do against these talented perimeter defenders for CIU. And Neat playing way off on the high screen. So heady play by her.
Mitchell inside to Wells from the left side. She can't get it to fall. Carolina now 1 for their last 8 from the field.
Missed.
Stolen by Mitchell. Denasia Mitchell with the right hand. She breaks that trend and puts the Bruins back up by 9 with 5 minutes left here in the third.
Yeah, missed opportunities were mounting there for the Carolina. Fortunately, they were able to get the steal and the layup, get those 2 points back.
Neat spin move off the defender. She knocks it down. Zion Neat.
At this point for Heston and for Neat, it's basically just my offense is better than your defense. And if you're CIU, just give them the ball.
Montgomery inside to Smith. A good look from Malaya Montgomery. She faked the pull-up jumper, which drew the interior of the defense inside the paint and left Smith open underneath. On the other end, though, she'll commit the foul and pick up her second personal. One substitution on the floor as Smith heads to the sideline. Shantasia Gordon, a freshman from Hammer, South Carolina, checking in here. Also one substitution for the Rams as Larissa Lee sees her first minutes here in the second half for Zani Thompson. 4:25 left in the third. 9-point game with Heston at the line for 2. 77% shooter this season from the charity stripe. 1 for 2 today. First one on this trip's off the mark.
With Heston shooting 6 for 10 from the field right now, so she's shooting 60% from the field, and she's getting quality looks. You know, you got to think if you're the Rams, you just keep getting the ball to Heston and Neat. And doesn't seem like Carolina has any way to stop them at this point.
Taeya Heston and Zion Neat now combining for 30 of Columbia International's 42 points. Double team. Now a jump ball. Possession arrow stays the way of the Bruins, but now that's one of the biggest hustle defensive plays we've seen for the Rams here in the second half. Now possession arrow next time will go the Rams' way.
So CIU with maybe their best 3 perimeter defenders in the game right now. And, man, you got to – that's killer right there.
Well,
offensive rebounds, not something you can give up when you're down by 10.
On the other end, here's Brown driving. No contact. Wells clears out the rebound. 2-on-2 basketball in the fast break. Montgomery, elbow jumper, pinballing out. Rebound, though, cannot be corralled by Madison Ferrara as it'll be out of bounds. The deficit back to 10 for CIU.
We talked about missed opportunities for Carolina, but it's not going to matter if you keep giving them opportunities over and over and over again.
White from the low post. Second chance not there. Rebound cleared out by Neat. And she was tripped up on the pass from Montgomery. That's Malaya Montgomery's third personal now. That could be a key one. Looking ahead across the final 3 minutes and 45 seconds here of the third and also into the fourth quarters. Malaya Montgomery with 20 points for Carolina early on in foul trouble now with 3.
Yeah, when you get this late in the game, you know, we still got a lot of game to play, obviously, but 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in the third quarter. I think you leave them in until you're at 4. Because if they're not playing at this point, there's not real point in playing them at all. So you might as well leave them in.
Brown driving baseline. Now a second chance for her. Kick out to McQueen for 3. Off the mark.
That's a good look.
Rebound snagged by Smith. 3:22 left in the third. Rams shooting a measly 14% beyond the arc today, 2 of 14. Montgomery's layup off the mark. Smith's second chance not there. Loose ball that Neat comes away with. But now it's Montgomery the steal. The Bruins have missed each of their last 5 shots. Here's White from the corner. Off the mark. Smith the rebound.
Kate, how many missed layups, and I mean wide open missed layups, have we seen here in the last 3 minutes from the Bruins. It's been pretty astonishing, honestly.
The Bruins have been working in a no-basket zone inside that blue paint on the floor. Here as of late now, 0 for their last 6 as Zion Neat will exit with her second personal foul. Quanika Howard back on the floor. Looking for a pass underneath to Smith. Heston going to be whistled for the foul on the reception of the pass. That's now the 5th team foul here in the third. That puts Smith at the line.
Whichever team wins, I think these last couple minutes you're going to be able to point to and say this was where the game changed, because either it's going to be Carolina saying we could have scored a lot more, or it's going to be CIU saying we didn't capitalize on these missed opportunities from the Bruins.
Smith's first free throw up and in, shooting under 50% from the stripe this season. Now 13 of 28 on the year. She goes 2 for 2 on that trip and puts the Bruins up by 12. The Rams came out of halftime down by 10 points. They battle back to within 4. But Heston's layup is deflected out of bounds by Gordon. And while the Bruins have allowed the Rams to stay close, they have obviously battled back and taken heed of that lead and taken control of this game.
Yeah, and Kate, 13 offensive rebounds for Carolina. It doesn't matter how many layups you miss if you're just keeping the ball back over and over again.
Heston inside.
It's a good block.
Blocked underneath. Now 2.5 left. Brown whistled for the transition foul. Carolina up 54-42. And as of late, these two teams have just found their points at the free throw line. The Rams and Carolina yet to buy a bucket. As of late, Columbia International missing each of their last 5. Carolina missing each of their last 6. That puts Malaya Montgomery at the line. Watkins first checking in here for Brown, who picks up her second personal.
Yeah, and again, we talked about in the women's game, just 5 fouls in a quarter, and you're in the double bonus. So picking up a foul at half court, when you're down 12, got to be smarter.
Montgomery's first free throw up and good. She's now 8 of 11 from the stripe. Two for 2 on that trip. Malaya Montgomery, of her 22 points today, 8 of them have come from the stripe. Hatcher underneath, off the mark. Madison Hatcher, who's second on this team and almost 13 points a game, has been held to 2 today. Smith underneath, not there. The second chance, now a third time at this one. All layups are off the mark, and Carolina head coach Quante Lee can't believe that his squad didn't pick up or draw contact. Now a transition foul here against the Bruins. Not really going the way they had hoped for initially, as Taeya Smith picks up her first personal.
But again, Kate, a missed layup down here for the Bruins. They're getting to the basket. They just got to finish.
McQueen from the elbow. And now into the paint. She gets tangled up. A jump ball will stay Rams basketball.
And McQueen look for Hatcher there on the wing. Draw maybe about 4 defenders there, so see if you can kick it out there to Hatcher for an open 3. Let's see CIU run this under the basket, out of bounds set. See what that looks like. Got to imagine it's coming back to Hatcher after the curl here. Yeah, and here it comes. She's got it. Good job.
Here's Hatcher for 3.
No, well run inbound set there.
Call you Coach Frierson from here on out. Cody called that play. 56-45 our score. 1:36 left in the third quarter. Mitchell working up on Watkins. Underneath. Too high off the glass. Now a third chance at this possession, as a foul is whistled underneath on Jordan McQueen. That'll be her second personal.
But obviously, if you're CIU, you got to get the rebound on there, and you eliminate these second chance opportunities. Now you're sending another Carolina player to the line.
Heston heads to the sidelines with Trewick back on the floor. Taeya Smith at the stripe. Smith, a 48% shooter on the season. 2 for 2 today with 4 points on the afternoon. First free throw on this trip up and good. 1:26 left here in the third quarter. The last time these two teams met was in the NCCAA regional championships earlier in March, where the Rams were victorious 74-61. Here today, though, the Bruins have come to play and look to spoil the home finale of the 2021 calendar year for Columbia International. Watkins from the left elbow, up and good. The deficit back to 10 points, coming up on a minute left here in the third quarter.
Yeah, it feels like CIU's down by more, but only down by 10. So, and there's a turnover. So CIU right in this game, despite giving up all those offensive rebounds. CIU's still battling, and now Hannah Trewick back in. I think that's a wise move from Coach Fleming. You rarely see Hannah Trewick outworked on the boards. So I'd like to see her step up here at the end of this quarter and in the fourth.
It's going to be Bruins basketball, according to the referees. Rams believe they saw otherwise. 23-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
I thought that was off Montgomery. And it was a...
And now we're going to see a technical foul on Danielle Fleming, the Rams head coach. First of the day.
Second technical we've seen today, though in this kind of. What Carolina had one earlier. I think that was on a player. I can't remember now.
Jonna Robeson.
That's right.
Robeson, yeah, so picking up that technical foul earlier on. She's on the bench now with 4 fouls. We haven't seen her since the early portion of this third quarter.
That's right. And that call that I think got Coach Fleming a little upset was that did look like it was off of Montgomery, at least from up here. Hard to tell, if you're down there at that angle. But I thought Montgomery hit it last. Well, they called it Carolina ball.
23 seconds separate shot clock from game clock. So the Rams, if they're able to get this possession back, they'll at least have a full shot clock, if you will, to get that last shot off here in the third. 11-point game. Into the corner. 3-point shot up and off the mark from White. Rebound poked out of bounds. It'll be Rams basketball.
That's good. You want to see CIU battling down there on the glass. That's a good defensive possession, forcing a three and then battling on the defensive glass.
26 seconds left here in the third. 2 seconds separate shot clock from game clock. Watkins, the mid-range jumper. She knocks it down.
Watkins back-to-back mid-range jumpers, so see if she can get going.
10 to shoot for the Bruins. They put it in the hands of Montgomery, who has 22 today. Back to Mitchell, 5 to shoot. She's defended by McQueen. Looking at the three-point shot. Step back up in the air. Off the mark for Denasia Mitchell. We head into the fourth quarter. And Carolina on top, 58-49. The Rams battling back after the 10-point halftime deficit. Down by 9. They're going to have a lot of ground to make up across the final 10 minutes. When we come back for more women's basketball action on the CIU Sports Network. Back in Columbia, we begin the fourth quarter. Carolina on top of Columbia International, 58-49. The biggest thing the Rams can do here in this fourth quarter is start taking advantage of the opportunities that Carolina's giving you. The Bruins now shooting 38% from the field, at one point shooting over 70 in the first half. The Bruins offense has extremely cooled down. It's in the hands of Roberson. She has to be careful with 4 personals. Her layup is too strong off the back glass. Hatcher's been held to just 5 points today after averaging over 12 a game. In the hands of Heston, who has 14 points, looking for 16, layup off the mark. But now she'll head to the stripe after she's fouled on contact for her second chance. Denasia Mitchell picking up her first personal. That'll put Heston at the line. Tania Heston 2 of 4 from the stripe today. Coming into this ball game, shooting 77% from the free throw line. Just wiping up some sticky spots on the floor. 9:26 left to play here today. We can get on the Rams' schedule. This is the home finale of the 2021 season, or calendar year, I should say. The next time we'll see Columbia International will be in the year 2022. They round out the December month with road trips to Edward Waters and Johnson University, along with a trip down to South Georgia at Columbus State on December the 30th. Pass nearly intercepted by Neat. On the other end, here's Montgomery working around Smith, up and in. Now an offensive foul on an illegal screen from Taeya Smith. That's something that I thought we saw from our perch up here. Smith really keeping Trewick from getting around the block there. Good call from the referee as Smith will pick up her second personal. 9:10 left in the fourth, a 7-point game. Hatcher from three-point range, she got it. And so the Rams have just added an element to their game that's been absent today. That's Hatcher being hot from three. Montgomery, though, is something you have to account for on the other end with a coast-to-coast lay-in.
But still, Cade, as frustrating as this game has been for CIU, you're only down 6 here in the fourth quarter. But, again, we haven't seen that really since the first half, but you got to stop the ball early, especially if the ball's in Montgomery's hands.
8:48 left in the fourth. A 6-point game here in Columbia. 60-54 our score. Quick inside to Neat. Look go up from the post. She draws the contact from Montgomery. That's now Malaya Montgomery's fourth personal foul. If the Rams can start attacking the blue 30 and get her out of the game, that adds a huge advantage. Montgomery really killing the Rams today with 24 points for Carolina.
Yeah, good job there on the inbounds. Again, last time they ran an inbound set for Hatcher to pop. This time they just run a simple little cross screen for Neat in the paint, and you get the fourth foul on Montgomery.
Neat trying to make this a 4-point game. Indeed she does. What a start to this fourth quarter from Columbia International. Came in down by 9. They're within 4. 60-56. Carolina holding on to the 4-point lead with 8:40 left in the fourth. Cross court to White. Pump fake. Now mid-range jumper. Off the back iron. Rebound cleared out by Heston.
Again, that's the kind of shot you want to force. And that looked like McQueen could have got away with an offensive foul there.
Neat, a big three. You betcha. Zion Neat coming through in the clutch. Timeout, Carolina. A full timeout for the Bruins. The Rams have really strung together a great start of the fourth quarter. Back within 1, trying to retake the lead for the first time since the first quarter. We'll be back for more Rams basketball when we come back on the CIU Sports Network. Back inside the Moore Fitness Center. 8:22 left here in the fourth quarter, and suddenly this game has gotten interesting. Columbia International started out this fourth quarter down by 9. Fast forward, not even 2 minutes in, and the Rams are within 1 of the lead from Carolina.
Yeah, 5 of those points coming from Zion Neat, but also both Neat and Hatcher getting probably the 2 best looks they've seen all day from 3 and capitalizing and knocking them down.
Rams going a very aggressive defense here. Underneath to Wells, defended by Neat. That basketball kissed nearly every inch of the rim before falling in for Nigel Wells. Lead back to 3 for the Bruins. Out to Neat. She's feeling it. Left it short.
But I'm fine with that shot though. If I'm Coach Fleming, I think extra just throw the skip pass to the open shooter, and then that's a shot you want Zion Eat taking.
Bruins now have a chance to extend their 3-point lead. Inside to Wells, ball's loose on the ground, multiple hands in on it. It'll be a jump ball that stays Bruins basketball. Only foul trouble on the floor right now for Carolina is Jonah Roberson, who has 4. We don't see Malaya Montgomery with 4 personals after she leads this team with 24 points today. She starts out the 4th on the bench. Quick inbounds to Mitchell.
Trawick, like to see her guard in the paint well on this possession. Let's see, she'll step up there, force the kick out.
3-point ball off the mark from Gordon. Rebound cleared out by Heston. Here's Neat. Kick back out to Heston. Pull up 3-pointer for Taeya Heston. She got it. Taeya Heston was just 2 of 15 from 3-point range coming into today. That's her first make from beyond the arc in the last 5 games. And it comes at a crucial moment. We're tied up at 62.
Yeah, no better time for Taeya Heston to get hot. Good defense there by Hannah Trawick.
Here's Hatcher, the Ram, looking to take their first lead of the day. Inside to McQueen. From the low post, she goes off the glass. Just like that, Columbia International goes up 64-62. And we can say Columbia International leads this one for the first time today. You look at how the Rams lost their last game at Tennessee Wesleyan, holding the lead until 1 second remained on the game clock before losing by 2 to Tennessee Wesleyan. Here today, they were on the backside of things, in the deficit for the majority of the contest, now out front. Here's Roberson, the spin move on Neat, off the window. We're tied back up.
And, Kate, I think the questions, though, are still the same that you had against Tennessee Wesleyan. Do you press late? Even if you have a lead, do you press late? And a lot of times, Coach Fleming will choose to do that because that's the most disruptive defense that CIU has. But if you press late, you give the chance of getting passes over the top for layups. So we'll see how Coach Fleming decides to play this late here midway through the 4th quarter.
Heston and McQueen head to the sidelines with Watkins and Howard back on the floor for Columbia International. Left side, Gordon. Trying to find the best look. Underneath to Smith, fresh off the bench, looking for the reversal. It's not there. Rebound, though, falls back into her hands. The second chance layup won't fall either. We remain tied at 64. The worst thing that could happen for Carolina is missing interior shots here late in the game.
Yeah, if you're Smith right there, you got to finish that. I mean, there's really no excuse for missing that layup. Sure, it's driving Coach Lee crazy, all the missed opportunities that the Bruins have had.
5.5 left here in the 4th. Tied up at 64. Neat around a screen. Step back 3. Well off the mark. Although diving in for the offensive rebound was Howard. But now an official's whistle for a shot clock malfunction.
Well, I think, are they saying either that the shot clock should not have restarted? I think that it should have. Well, so I'm not sure what the issue was.
Off the rebound, we saw Smith initially corral the rebound.
Yeah, I thought she had possession. If she had possession, the shot clock should have restarted, which they're saying it did not restart. That to me, I don't know about that. I really thought Carolina had the rebound and had possession. Then you're saying that Quinnique Howard got an offensive rebound, and now you have to throw up just a wild shot there. I don't think that's the right call, to be honest.
Tough break for the Rams, and they have to force the shot instead of resetting their offense. Still tied at 64. The Bruins now have a chance to go back on top.
So here's Kanaya Watkins. She's out there on the perimeter. Carolina's content to just let some clock run off. I think this is something Carolina could have done earlier.
Into the corner. 3-point ball in the air and through.
It was a 2, looks like.
Shantasia Gordon now the long 2. 66-64 our score. Watkins fell down on the dribble, and as Gordon worked up the floor, Hatcher is whistled for the personal. That's now her third. Won't matter much here late. Taeya Heston returning to the floor for Watkins. Meanwhile, Ferrara checking in as well for Hatcher.
Your CIU, though, again, not having as much trouble fouling as they were earlier on in this game, but still, got to play straight up and down. Don't reach, because even though a foul is not the worst thing because it stops the clock, but it still gives the other team uncontested points.
Looking to go inside to Wells. Ball's loose on the ground. Possession arrow will point the way of CIU. In this close of a game, the Rams need to find a bucket, having not scored in over 2 minutes since taking the lead 64-62 earlier on.
You have Neat and Heston in the game, however, so, Neat with 21, Heston with 19. So you have your pretty much all your scoring in that you need, hopefully.
Neat at the top of the key. Works around a Trawick screen. Pull-up jump from the elbow. Off the mark. And now rebound foul on Trawick. She was knocked down there off the screen. Might have been a frustration foul underneath.
That was called a, Trawick right there. A lot of times you're taught to blow up the screen when you get the screen set on you, which is what Carolina did there. That used to not be called a foul. Pretty much now, usually blowing up the screen is called a foul, but ends up actually going the other way. A foul on CIU. So interesting decision there by the officials.
4:06 left here in Columbia. Some Friday afternoon basketball. Bruins break the press as White gets chased down now by the double team. She jumps back up to Mitchell. Under the 4-minute mark. Bruins up by 2.
If you're CIU, White is in the game to shoot. That's basically about it. So, you can put some pressure on her. There she takes the three right there and she hits it. So, as I'm saying it, there's the curse of the broadcaster. But, like I was saying, you can't help off her. But if you do force the ball to her, you can put some pressure and maybe get her to turn it over.
McQueen returning to the floor for Columbia International as Ferrara heads to the sidelines. Bruins on a 7-0 run the last 2.5 minutes. Meanwhile, the Rams looking for their first points in over 3. After the Bruins got down by 2 for the first time today, stringing together 7 straight points is what good teams do down the stretch. Here's Heston on the drive. Right side, layup, off the mark.
Well, that's the formula you need. Let Heston drive, and it's just going to create for everybody else. If Heston, those high screens by Trawick, right now, the defender is chasing Heston around the screen, so she's got to open lane to the basket. So those high screens are working just fine for CIU.
Gordon picking up her third personal off the rebound.
There it is again. That time she went under.
Here's
and
Heston.
Heston knocks down the three.
She got it. Taeya Heston had just 2 makes from three-point range through the first 9 games of the season. Here today, she is 2 of 3 from downtown. Now the steal. Howard on the floor. McQueen, the bucket. All tied up at 69. Timeout, Carolina. The Rams are fired up, led by Jordan McQueen. 2 minutes, 53 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. We're in a tied game in Columbia. Don't go anywhere. More women's basketball action coming your way on the CIU Sports Network. Two minutes, 53 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. All tied up at 69. And just as the Rams have been on the wrong end of a 7-0 run from Carolina, Columbia International throwing together a 5-0 run of their own to tie this one back up.
Yeah, and if you're the Rams offensively, you have a solution, which is Taeya Heston. And now good pressure from CIU. So the question I asked earlier was, does CIU continue to keep the pressure on even in a close game, whether you're tied or you're up? And the answer right now for Coach Fleming is yes, and so far it's working.
Up and over to Mitchell. Bruins looking to score here late. Any lead at this point is a critical key to victory.
And, 5 seconds on the perimeter is only called now. Well, that's a good pass. That was a excellent pass from Mitchell.
Inside to Wells. She goes off the window after Mitchell drew the near triple team off the 3-2. Here's Neat from the left side. She got it. The sophomore coming up in a big-time moment. Tied no more. Rams up by 1. Now a steal. Howard comes away with it. Heston up the floor to McQueen. Left side layup off the mark. Neat, though, the board put back contact. She gets 2 at the stripe with Denasia Mitchell picking up her second personal.
That's a really good sign for CIU. College basketball, games are going to be close, but you have the better players down the stretch. Right now, that's Taeya Heston and Zion Neat are just saying to Carolina, we're better than you.
Neat at the line for 2. First one will rattle out. A 67% shooter from the stripe this season is Zion Neat. Trying to increase the lead to 2 points, make it a full possession game. Indeed she does. Rams up 73-71. 2 minutes left here in the fourth quarter.
Heston on Mitchell. This has been a pretty good matchup today. See what happens here. Mitchell with some nice moves. This is going up here from White, and that looked like she got fouled actually on that 3. But they will not call it.
An offensive foul underneath on Malaya Montgomery. That's number 5 on her. And the homecoming for Malaya Montgomery ends here in the fourth quarter with 24 points. What a day for Malaya Montgomery. She had 20 at the half. Great job, though, the Rams defensively to contain her and held her to just 4 points the rest of the way. 1:41 left here in the fourth. McQueen at the line with a chance to increase the 2-point lead. First free throw will pinball out. McQueen, a 91% shooter from the stripe coming into today, had just 1 miss on the season. Second attempt rattles out. She goes 0 for 2. Loose ball out of bounds. It'll be Rams basketball. 1:39 to play here in the fourth.
Parity here as after so many offensive rebounds for Carolina, CIU gets an offensive team rebound there in a crucial moment. So offensive rebounds, again, playing a really important part in this game.
McQueen heads to the sidelines with Trewitt back on the floor. Head coach Dan Yeffling wanting to go with size on the interior here late. 1.5 to play. Top of the key. Heston, step back 3-pointer. Off the mark. Rebound will be out of bounds and go back the Bruins' way.
That's okay. I don't, maybe not the best shot in that situation, but still I think down the stretch, you want either Heston or Neat shooting the ball towards the end of the shot clock.
73-71 our score. Bruins now playing from behind, trying to tie this game back up. Wells, spin move in the paint. Back to 73. Out of bounds, it'll stay Rams basketball. 1 minute, 3 seconds left here in the fourth. Talk with Danielle Fleming at halftime, and one of the key factors she said here in the second half was how her team would keep their composure across the final 2 quarters. Well, now it's going to take maturity. Whichever team can show their maturity here late will come away with this win. Under a minute left, tied at 73.
If you're CIU, I think get it in Heston's hands and then just spread it out. There you go. That's what you need right here. Now Trewitt, either come set the screen or get out. There you go. Come set the screen, Heston. Attack. That's what you need.
Out to Hatcher. 3-pointer deflected. The shot clock was expiring. Up the floor to White, who is all alone. Breakaway layup good for Kalea White. 4 second difference between shot clock and game clock. Neat from 3. Left short. Rebound corralled by Mitchell. And now a foul called on Zion Neat. That's just the 3rd team foul. second on Neat. So it'll stay Bruins basketball off the inbounds. 75-73. Our score. And now the Bruins head coach, Quante Lee, taking a very methodical timeout because now this moves the inbounds from the backcourt up into the front court right in front of the Carolina bench. 25 seconds left here in the game. A full timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them. Carolina up by 2. We'll be back for more basketball when we return to the CIU Sports Network. .25 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Carolina up by 2 points. Our score, Bruins 75, Columbia International 73. And here as of late, it's been the Bruins who have stepped up, sinking 5 of their last 6 shots. Meanwhile, when they needed to get it done the most, Columbia Internationals missed each of their last 4.
You know, Kate, I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a minute. I think sometimes it's actually easier to throw the ball in down on the far baseline rather it is to throw it in a side out. So let's see if that plays a factor here. I know that was a decision by Coach Lee to advance the ball. They do get, and they turn it over. That's what I'm talking about. It's sometimes it just feels like there's more pressure on you when you're taking out on the side out of bounds than when it is you have room to work with in the backcourt.
Timeout taken from Columbia International. 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. 24 seconds left, and that might have been the worst-case scenario for Carolina. All you have to do is catch the basketball. You don't necessarily have to score. You just have to catch the ball. You know CIU is going to have to foul you with the shot clock turned off. They have to foul to try to get possession back. Inbounds, though, goes off the feet of Jonah Roberson out of bounds. And Columbia International not done yet with a chance here late.
Yeah, and obviously now Coach Fleming's going to get to advance the ball and try to draw something up here. I know Hatcher had her shot blocked last time, but I think try to find some, a play where you can get Hatcher open on a screen or Neat open on a screen, whichever one you can find.
It'll be Hatcher, McQueen, Heston, Trawick, and Neat, the 5 Rams on the floor. 24 seconds left, but we're not there quite yet. Danielle Fleming wants to take another timeout. And this will be a full one, so we'll take it with her. 75-73 our score. Carolina on top with 24 seconds left. We'll be back for more Rams basketball in moments on the CIU Sports Network. .24 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Carolina on top, 75-73, but it is now Rams basketball after the Bruins bobbled the inbounds pass out of bounds. So now the Rams have a chance here with 24 seconds left. They can hold for that last shot if they want. It'll be Zion Neat, Jordan McQueen, Taeya Heston, Madison Hatcher, and Hannah Trawick. The 5 white, gold, and blue jerseys on the floor for Danielle Fleming's squad. Neat to trigger.
Good pass, good
Dumped
screen.
It into Heston, but she slipped.
Turnover.
And now Roberson is fouled after she intercepts Heston's bobbled pass. Neat picking up her 3rd personal. 19 seconds left. You hate to see that. Taeya Heston had a good look on the drive and just slipped off underneath.
Yeah, and I like the drawn-up play from Coach Fleming, the high screen by Trawick to free Heston streaking towards the basket. But that's a tough break there if you're CIU. But still, they're not in the bonus yet, so still, and that'll be
that'll
be turned
go
over.
Out of bounds. It'll be Rams basketball with 18 seconds left, and Bruins head coach Quante Lee can't help but roll his eyes as Danielle Fleming will take the timeout. 17 seconds left, just a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. Boy, you want to talk about opportunities after opportunities after opportunities. The Rams here, with under a minute to go, are going to have multiple chances based on mistakes made by Carolina on simple inbounds plays.
Yeah, I think, we had Carolina missing opportunities earlier in the game. Now it's on CIU. Whichever team doesn't win this game, they're going to look back and say, man, we really had really had a big chance there. But, again, if you're CIU now, I think it was a good drawn-out play last time, so let's try to run something similar. Again, run some screens, get an action, and always, especially when you're down 2, have an outlet where you have an open three-point shooter that you can take the lead instead of just having to tie it. And this is it for Neat right here.
17 seconds left. Neat looking to drive, kick out to Hatcher. Pull up three-pointer off the mark. Foul on the floor against Carolina. Foul underneath. 10.7 seconds left.
But we're in the double bonus.
And now that's 2 free throws at the line for one of the best free throw shooters for the Rams in Taeya Watkins. Led this team a year ago and made free throws. Here this season, she's sinking 70%. Today from the stripe, she's 2 for 2. If she can sink these 2, it ties the game up at 75. But Watkins first wants that basketball wiped off nice and dry. Watkins, the senior from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Elijah Spalding down there underneath the basket, really taking his time, wiping that ball off for Watkins. Let's see if it pays off.
Watkins in a 2-point game has 2 at the stripe. First one will pinball out.
So now here's the question. Do you miss the second one on purpose? If you make one, you get the ball back. If you miss it, maybe you get a chance to rebound and put it back in. She makes it.
She sinks the second. 1-point game. Quick inbounds back out to Roberson. A foul there from Watkins will stop the clock with 8 seconds left and put Roberson at the line at the other end. So Jonah Roberson shooting 62% from the stripe this season, 15 of 24. He's going to have 2 shots at the other rim. The Rams, regardless, are going to have 8 seconds potentially at one last effort.
And this is where I don't love it in women's basketball where there's not 1-on-1. And it takes away the fouling because now even if you miss the first one, you still have a second free throw. Takes away a little bit of the excitement.
Roberson's
and there
first
she missed
free
it.
throw off the mark. Now Carolina will crowd it inside. Jonah Roberson, the junior from Moncks Corner, South Carolina, trying to secure the victory over her home state team. Rebound Neat. Timeout taken. Jonah Roberson missing both free throws in the clutch. That leaves 6 seconds left, and the Rams will have one more crack at this one. 30-second timeout, we'll keep it here. 6.3 seconds officially remain on the game clock. 75-74, Carolina on top. If you're the Rams here, what look are you trying to find?
I think at this point, unless we'll see if Taeya comes back in the game here, but if Taeya's in the game, I think you just need to get her the ball at the top of the key, and then what's working for you all day is just her getting to the basket. And then you have shooters open. Right now, neither Hatcher or Neat is shooting super well from beyond the arc. So I really think you're only down 1, so just get into the paint and try to score. Here, I have a prediction here, Cade, though. Carolina's pretty out of control defensively, and I would not be surprised at all if I see Carolina pick up a foul here on the inbounds.
6.3 seconds are all that remains here today. Columbia International down by a point will have one last chance to win it.
So Heston's still out here. So maybe you substitute Heston for Watkins, but you get it to Neat, right? You got to get it, which you did do there.
Zion Neat driving, right hand up, in there. Zion Neat gives the Rams a 1-point lead. 2 seconds, 1. Roberson, the full court shot, not there, and the Rams win it. They count on their sophomore leader, Zion Neat. She gets it done when she needed it the most. 27 points today for Neat, but her last 2 are the biggest. Rams win it 76-75 over Carolina.
And Kate, I think on that last play, exactly what we had talked about, except did not Heston that time. It was Neat up at the top of the key, just open up the floor. We've seen that work time and time again against Carolina today, and Neat gets the game-winning basket.
What a ball game we've had today. The Rams down by 9 points going into the fourth quarter, but they battle back. Coming into today, Columbia International 1-3 in single-score games this season. Today, though, they pick up that big win. They're fourth on the season. The Rams moved to 4-6 on the year. In this non-conference matchup, they're still 3-4 in the AAC. Meanwhile, Carolina moves to 3-7 on the 2021 campaign. If you're Columbia International, not a better way to close out your home schedule in the 2021 calendar year than with a big-time win and a come-from-behind fashion.
Yeah, Kate, it was a great win, and season's not quite over yet for CIU, as we will have some away games next week for the CIU Lady Rams, and then also tomorrow, men's basketball in action at Life University. So that'll be a big one for the men's team.
Yeah, you look at the women's schedule across the final few weeks of the month of December. A road trip down to the Sunshine State. Coming up on Saturday, they travel to Edward Waters for a 6 o'clock tip down in Jacksonville. Later on December the 17th, they remain in Florida, travel down to Kissimmee to take on Johnson before coming back into South Georgia to finish out the 2021 calendar year with a December 30th showdown at Columbus State. We'll take a break here and be back in a moment. Zion Neat to join us post-game along with Danielle Fleming just before they celebrate. Final score, Rams win it 76-75 as Neat knocks down the layup with 2 seconds left. We're back for post-game. We come back on the CIU Sports Network. Now joined here post-game by Zion Neat. Zion, a big 76-75 win. You dropped 27 today, but none was more important than that last two. Knocking down the layup with 2 seconds left. What was the last look you got and the drive to the basket?
Well, we knew we needed a big one, man. I'm just glad that we got those two last-second opportunities to just try again. And for my teammates to set that good of screens 2 times in a row to get me open, like, they did what they needed to do. All I had to do was make a right-hand layup.
You guys come off a tough last-second loss at Tennessee Wesleyan. Bounce back today with a big-time win and come through in the clutch. What can a win like this propel you guys into 2022?
That we can win at the last second. I mean, obviously we've struggled with that a couple times, so that's what we worked on all week, just last-second scenarios, executing when it gets down the stretch. So I think we did a good job of that and applied what we learned in practice.
Outside of your 27, Taeya had 22 today. For you guys to combine for 49 points, what's it like to have that 1-2 punch?
Hey, we talked before the game, and I told her I wanted her to shoot some threes. I mean, she hits them all practice, and she doesn't really find that confidence to shoot them in the game, and I really wanted to put that in her today. And she hit those big shots. No one could have done that without her. Like, she's our energy, she's our heart most of the time.
Well, Zion, congrats on the last second shot. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, Zion Neat going to celebrate in the locker room. Going to be joined by the head coach, Danielle Fleming. Coach, what a win today.
Man, we pulled it out. I mean, it was not pretty and not one of the prettiest games, but you know what? We pulled it out, and I told them before the game and all week, like, good teams find a way to win. They just do. And tonight, I guess we are a good team.
Zion Neat, that last second shot, you put the ball in the hands of one of your most confident players, and I know a player you're very close with.
Yep.
What was it like to see her knock down that last second shot?
It was very refreshing. I thought, let me walk you through it. I thought the screens set by Hannah, and I think it was maybe Hatcher over there. The screens were perfect. She got open. Hannah then set a great screen, and she was, as soon as she started going downhill, I was like, oh, that's hers to win or lose it. So, and she won it for us, and that was great. And I just want to give a shout out, Coach D. He drew out that last play, and I thought it was great.
Well, Neat led the way with 27, but Taeya Heston added 22. And of those 22 were 2 3-pointers. Heston not really a three-point shooter this season, but she knocks down 2 big ones today. How can that help her confidence beyond the arc?
I think it's going to be great for her confidence. We joke all the time. She called me on FaceTime, and I told her I want to stop seeing the jumpers. And she said, okay, Coach, I get 1 3 and 1 jumper. If they go in, I'm going to keep shooting. And it went in, so she kept it. So I was really happy to see that for her.
We talked before the game, and you guys at time this season haven't been on the good side of last-second moments in games, but you said you practiced that this week. Those last-second, last-minute possessions, trying to secure a win today, it pays off. How goes that from a coaching standpoint to see practice pay off late in the game?
It feels really good. And you want to know something funny? So we had a situation where we were down maybe 1 or 2 or whatnot, and Kanaya was like, okay, we got 1 free throw, let's miss it on purpose to try to get a rebound. And I'm like, no, let's not, let's make it. So when she was at the free throw line, she missed the first one. I was like, Lord, please do not let her, throw it up. But she did a great job making the second one, and it helped us to get the 1-point win.
Congrats on the 76-75 victory. What kind of a celebration you expecting there?
Again, no water, but I expect us to go crazy, and I'm happy that we got a dub in my Christmas sweater. That would have not been pretty. So I'm very happy.
Well, go enjoy it, and happy holidays.
Thank you so much.
That wraps it up for us here inside the Moore Fitness Center. The Rams come from behind, down 9 points, heading to the fourth quarter. They secure the 76-75 win over Carolina thanks to a last-second bucket with 2 seconds left. Zion Neat knocks down her 26th and 27th points of the afternoon, but none were more crucial than those last 2. The Rams are in action on the road to close out the 2021 calendar year, but we'll see you again in 2022 back here inside the Moore Fitness Center. That'll do it for us. The Rams can pick up the 76-75 win over Carolina here on some Friday afternoon basketball. For Kay Crenshaw and everyone here on the CIU Sports Network, as always, remember to smile.